So Donald Trump has been having trouble getting a lot of donations, and so Hillary Clinton is beating him up over it and bragging about the donations she's been getting, including from corporate interests. Now, if I was her, I wouldn't be bragging so much about that. It's fine to go after Donald Trump and say he's not as rich as he claims he is. I love that tactic. And to say, oh, nobody wants to give him money because they think he might be a danger to the Republic and a danger to the world. Those are all good, fair attacks, and I think attacks that are effective. But Hillary Clinton has done something now that I think is a bad political idea, let alone the idea policy-wise, which is to just take a giant amount of money from private business interests and then do what they tell you to do. But okay, leaving that aside, let's talk about politics here. She decided that she's going to brag about all the corporate CEOs who are on her side. Not the right way to go. So she put out a giant list. Again, not the right way to go. I'll show you that list in a sec. And I want to give you a couple of names from the list to give you a sense of what's going on here. So, for example, Dan Akerson's on it, former chairman and CEO of General Motors. He's a lifelong Republican and is now donating to Hillary Clinton. That's not that reassuring. James Bell, former interim CEO of Boeing, former corporate president and CFO of Boeing. That's a defense contractor, not that reassuring. Rob Marcus, former chairman and CEO of Time Warner Cable Incorporated. Time Warner, what does Time Warner own? Oh, right, CNN. Interesting. James Murren, chairman and CEO of MGM Resorts International and chairman, MGM Growth Properties. Oh, it's good to see that she's got a casino magnate on her side. Usually they're Republicans, and she's actually running against one. I mean, it's hard to call him a casino magnate when he bankrupted every single casino he ever ran. But okay, some of the casino guys, the gambling guys, are on Hillary Clinton's side. Not sure I'd brag about that either. And finally, Laura Ricketts, co-owner of the Chicago Cubs. Now, to be fair, I don't know Laura Ricketts' history, and I don't know if she's been a lifelong Democrat or not. I do know the other side of the Ricketts family, Joe Ricketts, is a hideous conservative. He's the guy who was planning to run a smear campaign against Obama in 2012. The New York Times found out about it, and then he decided not to do it after it became public. The campaign was going to focus on how President Obama is too black, and Reverend Wright, who did the liberation theology, was his pastor, and it shows that, you know, that black theology is a problem for the rest of Americans, and it was going to question how American Barack Obama is, or if he's a foreigner. So don't put that on Laura Ricketts, and understand that a lot of people on this list were lifelong Democrats. But, you know, that is part of the Ricketts family. If I'm just looking at it from a political situation and analysis, I wouldn't have released this list. I think this is a bad idea. Now, she sees it as like, yes, I've got corporate interests on my side. Because for all the rest of the campaigning, to be fair to her, until this election cycle, the rest of the media, and because there was no other media options, all you had was basically television giving you all the information, or at least for over 3/4 of Americans got their news that way. Well, they spun it as having corporations on your side is great. Congratulations. But that is not this election cycle. That is not how a lot of Americans perceive it. And then she has quotes from people like Jim Ciccione, who is the AT&T vice president. He said, I've supported every Republican presidential candidate since 1976 and was honored to work for 2 of them. But this year, I think it's vital to put our country's well-being ahead of party. Hillary Clinton is experienced, qualified, and will make a fine president. The alternative, I fear, would set our nation on a very dark path. Yes, I get it, Clinton team. In the old days, this would have been something you're enormously proud of. I got Republicans to switch over to me. I'm so bipartisan. I've got all the corporate guys on my side. In this day and age, to release a giant list of corporate executives, some of whom are deeply Republican, saying, don't worry, we trust Hillary Clinton, she has our best interests in mind, is not a good political idea. Now, I want to give you the full list so you can really soak it in and enjoy it. Watch.